Hey guys, Shuldoge here, and today we're going to be looking at the Ultraglide MEOW gaming gear UltraControl V2. This is a mouse pad that I bought in black from AliExpress from the Real Eagles trading store in 450 by 400 millimeters. If you do buy it from AliExpress, it will not come shipped flat. Mine was rolled up, so something to keep in mind in case you are in the market for this pad. As for the surface, which I'll start on, it's not quite accurate to the name. It's much more of a balance pad than a control pad. A lot of mouse pads seem to be daring nowadays with how they name themselves. But stitching is pretty nice. As the surface stitching, it is similar to an Artisan Zero or a Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn. I'll show a macro shot as well of this. You can see its individual rows similar to the Saturn or Zero. Unfortunately, it's hard to see, which I understand is from the black color, so I will not be making that mistake of buying a black mouse pad in the future. The surface is pretty rough, unfortunately, and I did at one point find myself having skin irritation on my ring finger, so if you're someone who has sensitive skin like me, maybe this isn't the pad. But there aren't any serious issues with drag on the arm sleeve, which is nice. So, the base is made of a polyurethane foam, which is apparently a pour-on-like polyurethane foam, which pretty much every mouse pad says they have a pour-on-like polyurethane foam nowadays. Not. It is quite soft, though, I will say that. But I just wish it was a little bit thicker, because then it could actually be a soft pad. This pad is 3.5 millimeters thick, so there aren't any real issues with pressing down on dot skates. You don't really get too much scratching unless you press really hard. I will go ahead and demonstrate the softness of this pad with a dice, which is nowhere to be seen. So instead, I'm going to use this pill bottle here. As you can see, it's pretty decently soft. It's just not thick enough to be super soft, unfortunately. So, yeah. It's gone slightly less sticky over time, I would say. If anything, it's due to just the sheer dryness of putting it in a cardboard box because I had to move to my home. But I imagine it would be pretty much the same again if you just soaked it with a little bit of water. Stitching is nice and consistent. It doesn't show the best with the black color, and it doesn't really have the best height. I can feel my skates go over it when I'm gliding over it with my mouse a little bit, but it's really nothing to worry about too much. I would say that probably a more worryable part of the pad is the logo, which is a very raised, like waxy plastic. It's not super fun to glide over with your arm or your mouse. It is also pretty decently hard to keep clean. Debris sticks to it pretty well, so I imagine it gets within the stitching. But the stitching is nice, and it's plush, so I don't really have any issues with comfort when placing my arm directly on top of it. The price is $25 plus shipping on AliExpress. Came up rolled in a pretty well packed box, which I will give kudos to Real Eagles Trading, which at this point, unfortunately, Real Eagles Trading and other different sellers on AliExpress, possibly due to tariffs, I'm not sure, have seemed to just wipe a lot of their items off the AliExpress market, which includes this pad. So unfortunately, until that phase is done, I'm not sure I can say I would recommend this pad, because at MChose, which is a legit seller of these pads, and they do come flatly shipped if you order from there, they are a lot more expensive, and I'm not sure if it's worth the price at the price point that they're asking. But with all things considered, this is a very good balance pad. It's not a control pad, not an ultra control pad. It's an ultra balance pad. I'm not sure why they call it ultra control, but yeah, pretty good pad. I'd get it for $25, nothing more. Thanks for watching.